means. Could maybe even see the Hadoken, perhaps? Mega Man X any percent is a temperamental category. Even the best players have fallen victim to deaths late on. We'll see if both these players can avoid it as they jump out into the intro stage. Mashing needs to be on point for these tall blue guys. But the big concern here are the bees. What kind of bee patterns are they going to get, and how are they going to deal with it? Bees can either shoot with a gun, shoot with a missile, or do nothing. And believe it or not, you don't want them to do nothing, because then you have to get hit by their body, and that does a lot more damage. Madu got Movellandrone passive, so it's going to take 2 hits from the body. Get 2 passive bees. It means you take 4 hits from the bees and you actually die. So Movellandrone really hoping for... Yeah, it did get a machine gun, it decided to avoid it there. It takes 1 hit there. Bees went well for Madu. Has jumped out to a bit of an early lead, thanks to some better luck and some better mashing. But both players now have the low health they want going into the... Ooh, it's almost a bit of a fall there from Movellandrone. Going into the vial. I want to say fight, but it's more of an encounter at the end of the intro stage. Unwinnable. You simply want to get captured as fast as possible. And that only happens at low health. It's possible to hitch a ride on some of these cars, but I think it's pretty tricky to set it up and save time doing it. Movellandrone has some cars to work with. Turning around on a dime, giving them some business, but that's okay. Movellandrone picked up a health drop, so had to lose some health. Oh, gets run over by the car. Not the way you want to start off your Mega Man X race. Madu also at some point picked up a health refill, so I was going to have to get punched a couple times by Vile here. That wasn't too bad. Vile did have to walk the screen. A bit of RNG in where Vile ends up and how long it takes for him to initiate this cutscene. Movellandrone charging through the intro stage after the death. That jump, okay, can recover here, but ooh, did not quite get around the corner of that wall. 2 deaths in the intro stage. Not starting off on the best footing here. But this race is so, this category is so crazy. The end game expects you kind of to have the upgrades that reduce the damage you take, so the bosses at the end of the game do way too much damage. Even top players can slip, make 1 mistake, and die, and lose minutes. Fortunately, minutes that Movellandrone has already lost with the 3rd death in the intro stage. I know they just woke up to play this match. Maybe still a little sleepy. Hopefully Movellandrone can shake it off. Madu is stage doing these little turnaround jumps on these slopes. By jumping off a slope going downwards, you actually gain an increased amount of speed. Very tricky to make that worth it. You'll really only see stronger players going for those jumps. And now we're going to get our dash boots. The inputs for this game become a lot more intensive once you have to constantly be pressing this dash as well as the jump and shoot buttons. Holding down the shoot button, tapping jump, holding jump, tapping shoot, and dashing all the time. Very tricky game to play optimally. Madu uses the mech to go to the top route here. Tough section to optimize, dodging the snowballs and killing the turrets. Madu does a very nice job there. The Movellandrone falls down with the bee. As Madu gets into the Chill Penguin fight. How many slides are we going to get? Totally invincible during a slide. Right there, you can see the lemon just tank off of a backwards hit there. Sometimes Penguin gets knocked the opposite way. Usually coming out of a slide, I find. can be a little annoying. Not as annoying as those slides. That's 3 slides now for Madu. That's maybe average. I've seen worse. I've seen better. Just under the 5-minute mark, Madu's going to be finishing off the first Maverick. Movellandrone trying to ride on some cars. Didn't have the invincibility frames to get on that car. Drops into the pit again. We saw... Oh, Movellandrone, what is up? Is your controller okay? Saw some hesitation when they spawned in, and then just... way too short on the jump. Yeah, these jump inputs look like they're just not coming out or something. Hopefully the controller's okay. Matt is moving on now. We got some ice shotgun. Jumping over the turtles. They got these missiles. You don't want to deal with them. Onto the elevator. There's something weird going on with this elevator where you can take hits for free invincibility frames without actually taking damage. But you can use that to dodge these copter enemies coming down. Moving on to this other vertical section. In Kuwanger stage. I can't remember if it was Madu who was going for the iceless here. But in any percent, you don't need to collect all the things. All the heart tanks, all the sub-tanks, E-tanks. Does go for iceless, gets it first try! Making it look easy. That is a notorious trick for its difficulty. To be able to be consistent at a trick like that is the mark of a dead. If you can do that trick, that's a really quick heart tank, not too much time. Again, you don't have to pick it up, but a couple safety items go a long way in this really tricky category. The Movellandrone down to 1 health here. You want to be not 1, I don't know. Especially after some of the deaths we've seen. We're into the Kuwanger fight. Possible to get him locked into a pattern. The Kuwanger dance. The Kuwanga Tanga. But didn't see too much of it there from Madu. Into the teleport phase. Can be tricky if you're near the walls when he's teleporting. He'll tend to teleport right underneath you, but overall a very solid Kuwanger fight from Madu. As Movellandrone is finally past most of the dangerous stuff here. Taking a couple hits, spawning some cars. I'm nervous now. Down to 2 health. You want to be low, but... Cars, we're breaking them up. And we're good. Madu. Moving on to Stin Chameleon. Yeah, it is controller issues. Movellandrone with the Wiimote. It looked like it. Oh, Madu getting hit by the falling blocks. This is a very tough section, but then also getting knocked into the pit, having the recovery. We got some birds here. Going for the bird dupe. There it is. Where'd that bird come from? Who knows? He's there now. And Movellandrone maybe swapping controllers is maybe the reason why looks to be playing so much better. As Madu's dashing through the Stin Chameleon stage. Fairly straightforward stage once you get through the rocks in the cave. Movellandrone starting Chill Penguin stage as Madu gets into the Stin Chameleon boss fight. As long as you've got some of these boomerangs, this fight is pretty easy. Right, left, right, left, right, left. Going for something fancy there at the end. Totally unnecessary. but Madu's style. Movellandrone using the charge shot to take out the wheel. Going for the slope jump. It's a right, left, right input to face right on the slope, left to get around the corner, right to get back to the wall. Movellandrone says, screw it. This one I'm going up. Madu into Storm Eagle stage. Riding the platform over. Gonna be picking up the heart tank. Now are we gonna see a phantom grab? We are! There's the platform! Swaggin' is Madu. This is actually a faster strat in 100%, but I think it is actually not a faster strat in any percent. It's mostly done for swag, but Madu is executing on this strategy very well. It is not easy to keep the speed with this platform and the continuous wall jumps off of it. This is a pretty fantastic Storm Eagle from Madu. Getting all the way to the end. And there's the platform. It's going to hang out here during this Storm Eagle. You can actually stand on it, and if Madu is looking for maximum fight, standing on top of it. As for the fight itself, you don't want Eagle to dive. It's pretty random. Looks like we're going to get at least one. And if you get more than one, you're going to get a couple. I think at least 5 or 6. 4, 5, 6. There's the platform, looking for the kill now. Oh, he stopped the dive. No swag platform finish for Madu, but a very, very strong Storm Eagle stage, Movellandrone. In the end of Chill Penguin stage, this is this really tricky section with these turrets and snowballs. Getting through there cleanly without stopping your forward movement is very tricky. Movellandrone had to stop at multiple points there to deal with snowballs and the turrets. And is into Chill Penguin. We'll see what kind of luck we get from Chill Penguin today. No slides yet. It's pretty trolly the way the slide animation is the same as every other attack Penguin does, leaning back like that. Oh, down to 2 with that backwards damage boost. Another backwards one. No slides, but Penguin is out for blood. And touching the ice clones is going to go ahead and finish Movellandrone off. Going to have to try that one again. Madu into the storm something bot thing. Bubble dog toy. Well, it's gone now. Another try, Chill Penguin for Movellandrone. Madu is using the Storm Eagle. To clear out these enemies. I love the way that that long column follows you through these corridor sections and takes out multiple enemies. Oh, okay. Back from the depths of hell. Madu slipping all the way off screen in the dark. But he is alive. Movellandrone is frozen. Penguin just needs one hit. There it is. Had some controller issues. Decided to go with a Wiimote. And it let them down, basically. In a big way. Several deaths in the intro stage. Looking a lot more solid. Either the controller switch or the, you know, move the thing out of the way to get the signal clear. I don't know what has been changed, but we're getting a lot smoother play out of Movellandrone, who's moving on to Quanger. Madu had a very good Spark Mandrill. Shotgun Ice freezes him. Invincibility frames run out before the frost does, so you can hit him before he breaks out of the ice and still do damage, but it won't refreeze him. So he will be unfrozen for a little bit if you're going as fast as possible. You can choose to delay your shots, be a little slower, but keep Spark Mandrill totally locked down. But Madu's not opting for that. He wants the fast stuff. Riding on the carts here in Armadillo's stage. A couple of safeties can be picked up here for not a lot of cost in terms of time. We'll see what Madu opts for. It's Movellandrone. Gets over the turtle but misses the ladder. Takes a hit from the turtle there. Pretty low on health. Madu's dropping down. Has the boomerang out, so we are going to see the heart tank grab. Jumping off the cart and getting way ahead. There are some things you can do here to despawn some birds and save time on lag. Usually people stay on the cart and do some left-right things, but Madu's jumping way out in front of the cart, and it looked like it worked. I'm having some trouble with these moving platforms. Spark Mandrill's weapon, weakness for Dillo. Breaks off that armor, so at least you can hit him while he's doing these roll attacks. Pretty good pattern there from Madu, who is looking strong. And the Movellandrone looks like took the game over in Boomer Kawanger's stage. Gonna be setting up again. Madu's moving on to Octopus. We haven't seen Flame Mammoth yet. Flame Mammoth is weak to Storm Eagle, and you don't really get much out of the other weapons in that stage, so it's kind of up to the player where they want to do the Flame Mammoth stage. Madu's leaving it for now and heading onto Launch Octopus. Not quite getting the jump there. Sea Sting to mash down the submarine. The Movellandrone a little low on health, but is through the turtles. Another sub here gets the blow back. There's a couple different things the sub can do, and with those spikes there, it's a little touch and go. But Madu was ready for all the possibilities. There's something going on here with this sub, where players will spawn it, then go way up high. Oh, I'm not sure what the end goal is. Oh, I'm not quite getting enough hits on that thing to kill it right away. Now there's a ton of lag while it dies, unfortunately. I would guess it's a lag management strat that the players are doing. Or maybe it's a manipulation to get it to go in a certain way or to spawn in a certain way. But Madu's moving on to the boss fight, weak to Armadillo's rolling shield. But it's tough to get in all of these shots. Launch Octopus is constantly throwing out all these fish, and your projectile is so big, it can get blocked. Spoilers in chat from Movellandrone with the "Are you kidding me?" Keep an eye to see what joke the game has in store. Turret knocking her off, and then still an active hitbox on that turret as it comes out of the wall. Madu finishing off Launch Octopus without too many problems. Don't think I saw any swirlies. Launch Octopus can put you in the laundry cycle, generate a column of a whirlpool thing. Can't really hit Octopus out of it. You can jump up into it to get hit and cancel it, but it's a little risky. Onto Burn Numander, which is Flame Mammoth. If you're playing on Mega Man X as opposed to Rockman X, you will lose time on text. Look at this, Madu clipping into the ceiling. Showing off some stuff. Check that out. What's that? Who knows? It's not what it's supposed to be. Up here, dealing with invisible enemies. We've seen some of this, I don't want to call it disrespect, because I've seen it from a number of people, and all of them have said they didn't mean it as disrespect. It's just... We've seen a lot of players showing off a little bit. Whether for the viewers, or for their fans, or for themselves. Every player who's had the chance, pretty much, has taken the time to show off something cool about this game. Maybe it's just a desire to tell everyone all the things that are in this game and show it off. Who knows? We're into the Flame Mammoth fight. That's... Oh, is going to get 2 hit. You want to place these Storm Eagle shots kind of high, because sometimes Flame Mammoth likes to jump, and if you want to hit him twice, it's going to need to be placed high up. Movellandrone into the last section here before Kuwanger. Troublesome to get on these moving platforms with the fans. You need to charge up the charge shot, release it, while doing the wall jump off the wall and then off the side of the platform. So you're moving your thumb a lot between jump and shoot in a lot of different ways. It's a fairly complicated input. It's given Movellandrone some trouble. Oh, the diagonal shot. The diagonal turret. The final boss before Kuwanger as Madu is moving on to the... there's the death from Movellandrone. Leap of faith. It. A very good climb. Gonna be taking some damage off of this blue rocket guy thing. This is because we got a Vile fight coming up. We need to be on low health to initiate it. Going for the cutscene skip by not touching the ground. Wall jumping up the ladder slot and then off the wall and straight to the door. You can initiate a cutscene skip here. We have seen people soft lock the game. At least one in this tournament. Has something to do with pressing the start button or releasing a button at the wrong time. Once Zero hops on there, I think you're golden. So that's not going to happen to Madu today. Movellandrone with another try at some of Kuwanger's stage here. Having trouble grabbing these ladders. It's just not coming out. Fantastic Vile fight from Madu. Bit of a delay on that final shot, but was looking great. Vile can move around a lot in that fight. Can go off screen to the point that even if you shoot off screen, you're not going to hit him. So overall, that was a very strong Vile fight from Madu. Now we got our charged buster from Zero. Enables the next level of charge for the buster and gives you access to all kinds of cool special things. Like the invincibility that you get from the Chameleon Sting weapon. Movellandrone has had it with this this Wii U or Wii Virtual Console setup. Playing on console has some advantages in terms of reaction time. But if you're playing on a worse controller you're not used to, it might not be worth it. This is best 2 out of 3. This is the group stage. Top 2 from each group advance. It's looking like Movellandrone is already 0-2. So I think that unfortunately is going to put them in a place where they cannot advance. But Madu is not advanced yet. Madu needs to win this. So Madu has to play this out. Into the bow spider. If you've ever seen those, if you've ever watched an anime and seen them decide something randomly by drawing lines and bars, this Japanese method of lottery drawing is how this boss operates. Can be pretty quick to read it and react to where the spider's going to go. And the spider does a lot of damage, and it's a long fight. Can also throw out these little spider hatchlings. Those are annoying to deal with, and also do cost a little time. But a great bow spider from Madu. Movellandrone, one more try at Boomer Kuwanger. As to the question, what happened? Movellandrone switched to Wii Virtual Console and is trying to play on a Wiimote, and it is not working out. Simple as that. Not only that, but switching from emulator, I think there's a fair bit of input delay between emulator and console. But that doesn't really... It only matters for cases where you need to react to something happening on screen, because otherwise your brain can just adjust to whatever the timing is. So it can be an advantage in cases where you need to read and react to situations, but otherwise I find them to be very equal. However, switching from one to the other takes time if you're used to one. Your brain needs time to figure out the new timing. In addition to perhaps the controller being weird or maybe even not working properly. A lot of things not working out for Movellandrone, but Madu's doing well. Had a couple slides from Penguin there, but otherwise is able to toast that bird and is going to be moving on. Getting hit by that mech guy, but getting out of there before he has a chance to use it. Got our Sea Sting invincibility going now. Dodging that projectile from that enemy. Not that one, though. Into the Storm Eagle refight. No fun platforms glitched out in the background today. Opening it up with the dash lemon shot does 2 damage instead of 1. Doing a little bit to conserve the weapon energy. Sea Sting is a really important weapon. Is the weakness for a couple of bosses, and you also consume a lot of it for the invincibility to get through sections like that one. Movellandrone down to 1 health is wishing they could make themselves invincible at will. Has no E-tanks, but looked for it. Sea Sting, also the weakness of Rangda Bangda. This weird face boss that Madu's dealing with. One cycles the nose. One more hit. Oh, I didn't realize the right eye was still alive, but it was. I'm not sure if Madu realized. I think they did. But that was a really good Rangda Bangda fight. Movellandrone saying the controller just died. So that's neat. And give them the grim news that they can forfeit whenever they want, because Movellandrone is asking in chat what protocol is like, as Madu is setting up for the armadillo skip. It's too far to the left and ends up on top of the ice sled. You want the ice sled to push you into the door. This one looks good. As long as the camera's like this, armadillo does not spawn. You can dash straight through. And then if you want to be cute, you can jump up, move the camera, and spawn him, and then run away. Or get screwed up. But yeah, then the sprite glitches out because it's not supposed to be in that place, and the game tries to pull graphics from places it shouldn't be. Now Movellandrone's console is reset. This is a comedy of errors on the left side of the screen. Movellandrone is going to switch back to PC for the next race, and maybe we'll see something a little more like a Mega Man X speedrun. That I know Movellandrone is capable of. Madu using the Kuwanger to get some health refills here, because the D-Rex fight... Wait, are we there yet? No, we're not. We got Spark Mandrill. But D-Rex is coming up. D-Rex does a lot of damage. Spark Mandrill, if he lands that punch, Caught Madu off guard, didn't switch to ice right away, wanted to go with the opening of Dash Lemon. And Spark Mandrill saw that opening and charged in with the Mike Tyson, giving him all the punches. Danger if you don't do the strat to, go a little slower to lock down Spark Mandrill. He does break out a little bit. And if he opts to do that punch, it can be pretty hard to deal with. Hitbox lurches forwards. He moves really fast. So Madu's down to half health. It's going to pick up some more refills here. Did get pulled in by one fish. That's okay. Into the launch octopus fight. Rolling shield, still the weapon of choice here. Some players have been using the Kwanger weapon to cut off the octopus's arms. We're getting one swirly. Cutting off the arms, two swirlies, prevents this swirly. All launch octopus does is shoot missiles. So it's and more consistent at the cost of time. Also, the missiles can just be kind of hard to deal with in their own way. But Madu is done with launch octopus. Not a great pattern there, but made the best of it. Going top route with the Sea Sting to walk on the spikes. Getting the health. And the 1-up. And into the Flame Mammoth fight. Tried to go with the Kwanger to cut off the nose. I haven't seen this in the tournament yet, I think. It's like Dark Souls in here. Flame Mammoth dropped an axe, actually. Weird. You wouldn't have thought. But it only upgrades with Demon Titanite, so it's not great. It's really just for the achievement. Moving on to the D-Rex fight. D-Rex does a ton of damage. Don't want to get chomped. Pretty hard to land these shots with the boomerang, because if you are not on the upwards arc of your jump, then the boomerang's going to curve down instead of up. A fantastic fight from Madu. Who is looking really strong in game 1. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, we're moving on to the final encounter with Sigma. Madu's fastest time, even if Madu's pretty sure they're going to beat Movellandrone here. Fastest time will determine your seeding in the next stage, as well as tiebreakers. So if possible, you want to put the best time you can up on the board. Got the dog. It has a name, like the Eliminator or Vindicator or something, I can't remember, but 2 hits there on Madu, who is... This is pretty low. Can still take a hit from, I think, anything, even a lightning from Sigma's final form. But you'd take those hits to that dog. Velgarder. That's it. Jedi phase going well for Sigma here. You need to kind of jump off the wall to not have your spark go into the wall and not hit him every time he bounces off that wall, so it's very tricky to place these shots. Fairly solid Jedi phase there from Madu. Into the final phase. Wolf Sigma. Claws. Lightning. Flames. Claw opening up with an early hit. Oh, blocking the door. Gonna be using the E-Tank to refill. Going for the rolling shields. 16 hits it takes. Right claw comes in. A little scary when that happens because it limits your options by a whole lot. But it was no follow-up from Wolf Sigma. being pretty nice with the lightning. Right claw, again, you can see you're trapped in the corner there. If the left claw decides to shoot lightning at that time, you've got nothing but to take it. But no follow-ups. A pretty smooth Wolf Sigma, and Madu's going to finish with an SRL time of 34:41. This is a good time. It's knocking on the door of the top 20. Despite being seeded, I think, 33rd. So a nice run from Madu. No major mistakes. All the skips. And we do officially have the forfeit. If you're that early on in the race, in the game, might as well just start again for game 2. So we'll take a moment, let Movellandrone switch over to whatever they need to do to get going. And we'll be back for a game 2, so stay tuned. All right, strap in. Game 2, starting up, Movellandrone. On the more familiar setup that also has a different screen region. And will need to be recropped, but that's okay. We're really good at that over here on twitch.tv/speedgaming. 3. Lots of things happening on all the channels today. But right now, we got MMX happening here right in front of your eyes. Madu versus Movellandrone. Controller issues, console issues plagued Movellandrone to the point of being unable to even really play the game. So let's see what they're really capable of. Intro stage again. We're looking out for bees. What kind of patterns are we going to get? Madu passive. 2 hits from the bee. Same from Movellandrone. 2 hits. Madu needs to turn around to shoot at the bee, but oh, just even 1 frame to turn around gets Madu killed by the bee. What an awkward situation. The bee wouldn't move. Oh man. Went for the fastest strat there. When the passive bee does that, you can't take 4 hits from the body of the bee. You need to take a hit from a machine gun or a missile. But Madu didn't get it, and Madu went as if they did. Realized that they had to move out of the hitbox of the bee and managed to get behind it. But then the bee wouldn't move, couldn't turn around to shoot it and kill it, so Madu tried to just tap the button and turn around. Oh my goodness. Double passive bee again. Madu dies again. What a race. The Movellandrone on the second bee now as well. Getting the machine gun. Is going to just fight it from the front. In this case, but does get it down. These bees are deadly. How many lives have they claimed in just 2 games? The Movellandrone's at the right amount of health. Madu gets, finally, a machine gun. Able to take less damage. And of course, it gets health drops. They don't need this time around. Down to that desirable 3 amount of health. The Movellandrone picked up a health refill. It's going to need to take some more hits. Taking a moment to shoot that car. Doesn't want to get run over from behind. We saw car trouble happen to Movellandrone last game, and AAA wasn't around to help out. Down to 3 health now. Triggering the ship. Car destroyed very quickly. Second car. No problems. And into the Vile fight. We'll look at what kind of lead we have here. Captured pretty quickly. Let's use the timing of 0 shot hitting Vile here. Bam. 41. Madu into the fight. Vile backed off pretty far there, but the follow-up was pretty good. Do you remember the number I called out? I'm pretty sure it was 41. And then a 58 there, 17 seconds behind in the intro stage. Is Madu. 2 deaths for Madu. I think there was 1 as well for Movellandrone. Game overs are also a concern now. If you die to a boss and you still have enough weapon energy to refight it, it's not that much of a time loss. But if you game over to a boss, you have to redo that whole stage. Won't be surprised if we see Madu go out of their way to pick up a couple extra lives, perhaps. But for now, bustering down everything at Chill Penguin stage. No slope jumps from Movellandrone, getting tagged by that wheel enemy. The 0-2 and the 1-0 is their win-loss records in the tournament so far. This is the group stage, groups of 4. You play everyone else in your group once, and the top 2 people with the best win-loss records move on from each group. So Movellandrone being 0-2, I think means they are not going to be able to move on. But that doesn't mean you can't play your third match. Try to put the best time you can on the board. And also, you need to force Madu to come correct here. To play a real game of Mega Man X and win. That is Movellandrone's job right now. Madu, through sheer execution, has caught up, and they are now neck and neck. And with some cleaner slides and some turnaround damage boosts and well-placed charged shots, Madu heading into the Chill Penguins boss fight at 6-11. Movellandrone, 6-17. Gaining 25 seconds in Chill Penguin stage alone. Again, Movellandrone, a newer player. Madu, very experienced. Sometimes it's not apparent just what these stronger players are doing to save time. A lot of slides here from Penguin for Madu. Movellandrone getting some too. Invincibility here for the slides. Can't do anything. One more hit. Yeah, not great patterns for either player. But Madu does have the lead. A game over, though, can really shake things up. Deaths at Sigma can really shake things up, because not only do you have to redo all those fights, you lost all that time, but unless it's a game over, you will need to refill your weapon energy for Spark and Rolling Shield and maybe Ice. And if you've got a sub-tank, you'll want to fill that up too. So you end up farming enemies in the climb before Sigma, and that can eat minutes. It's pretty awful. And sometimes Sigma will give you patterns you just cannot deal with. It's really scary. Makes every race of Mega Man X any percent exciting. And it gives everyone a chance. Madu's under this elevator section. Movellandrone, having no problems jumping over the turtles and grabbing the ladders. When you're on a setup you're used to and a controller that works, turns out. Madu getting hit by the ladder enemy and falling off there. Playing optimal in any vertical section in this game is very tricky. Madu went for first this last time and gets it again. Are you serious? Oh my goodness. An incredibly precise trick. Getting it like it's nothing. Makes it look so easy, but it's really not. I don't know if it's frame perfect. It's kind of those things where like there's like a 1 or 2 frame window depending on this or that. But it was thought to be kind of too hard for people to do in a run for a long time. And then the fact that people could pull it off became the thing. Iceless. It got a name. One of the earliest speedrunning tricks to get a name. And Madu, just no problems. Into Kuwanger stage here, Movellandrone. Madu had a very strong Kuwanger fight. Movellandrone not asking him to dance either. Madu doesn't like the dance strats, it seemed. Movellandrone with the spoilers in chat. Took one hit, dashed right in for more. Not sure if that was an intentional, desiring a reset to the fight, didn't like the way it was going, or something more. Madu is going to take the time to respawn the duplicate bird. Just doing what he can to help preserve the endangered species. Kuwanger fight again from Movellandrone. Going with some nice charge shots. Playing it nice and safe on the walls. Getting a lot of boomerangs. These are easier to deal with than teleports that start up in this second phase. If you're on the wall when Kuwanger teleports, he has a tendency to teleport right under you. And usually that means you have a lot of trouble getting back down to ground. Oh, teleported behind Movellandrone. Gets the horns thrown into the ceiling, and then the charge. Extra life still has the extra life as Madu. Moving on to the Sting Chameleon stage. The Kuwanger weapon. Whatever it is. The bladed boomerang thing. Just totally makes a clown out of Sting Chameleon. We've seen players run out of that weapon because it is used to fight a mini-boss for the armor upgrade. We might see that from Movellandrone. A fairly big time loss. Not sure what the estimate is. Over a minute, for sure. But for a huge upgrade in safety. We've seen it from a couple players in this tournament. Wow, Movellandrone clutching out the Kuwanger fight. Some really scary teleports there, but Movellandrone staying light on their feet. Madu grabs the heart. Phantom grab. There's the platform. We saw Madu execute on this strategy very well in game number 1. Very hard to keep track of where you are in the stage to come down and get that E-tank. Oh, okay, we're going the low route, I guess. Madu, what is this? The tournament is any percent, my friend. The Movellandrone's going to show off this robot. So this Sting Chameleon, or the Boomer Kuwanger weapon, breaks, is the weakness for this robot as well. And the robot is so tanky that you will run out of ammo if you use all of it on this guy. So some people have done this and then had not had enough for Sting Chameleon, had to fight Sting Chameleon with the Buster, which is an incredibly difficult fight. Movellandrone's already missed some hits here, so eventually he's going to have to switch to the robot. And no, Madu didn't get armor, so Madu's just doing something different. We've seen a lot of players just show things off in this game. A great Storm Eagle fight. No dives. Able to constantly keep those iframes up. Movellandrone defeats the robot. Gets the armor. %100% is a lot safer in a lot of ways. Movellandrone wants out. Does finally get out. Falling rocks here. Armor, I think, will reduce the damage from these falling rocks. I think it's just everything. It reduces the damage. 50%, I believe. Down to 2 health. It's not all that uncommon to take 1 hit from Sting Chameleon. Movellandrone's jumping in the mech. Madu's using that new power-up to break through the ceiling. Showing off more Dr. Light capsules, more upgrades. Not necessary for any percent. This is the Buster upgrade that normally 0 gives you. There's that heart. Placement just a little too high. But you see, you also want it to arc downwards. Okay, there we go. Madu's got it. Movellandrone's very healthy for the Sting Chameleon fight. Hopefully has enough ammo. We'll see. Oh, you do get it back if you catch it. Nice. I was wondering about that. Alright, we can start to get into the pattern here. Looking good. Only one more shot. We're going to have to finish him with the Buster. Dash Lemon will do it. Armor protecting Movellandrone. Getting this last hit is pretty hard. There we go. Nice job. Madu did get an E-Tank. Movellandrone, I'm not sure yet. Seeing Storm Eagle's weapon. I don't know the weapon names very well. Wind, Cyclone Shot, Cyclone Beam, Pillar, Storm Chaser. Could be anything. Movellandrone into the Storm Eagle stage. Riding the platform. Missed the first bus. Had to wait for another. Service is pretty regular. Going up top. Looks like Movellandrone is going to be picking up the... I think this is the E-Tank. As Madu is getting through this very tricky section. Switching weapons wherever needed to deal with all those enemies and not stopping is very tricky, but very rewarding and looks quite cool when you pull it off. Madu showing off the charged Storm Eagle stuff as Movellandrone takes a death and then follows it up with another. Saw the password screen there, so that is a game over. We were very early on in the stage on that second death. So the game over's not too harmful. Hadn't hit any checkpoints. Madu into another tricky, dark section. Moving very well, dealing with all the enemies. Movellandrone trying to improvise a little bit on the platforms, not quite working out. Takes a death. As Madu gets into the Spark Mandrill fight. Releasing the charged Buster and is then going back with the ice strats. It's a lot safer to shoot the ice at the wall and hit Spark Mandrill with the projectiles rather than hit him directly, because then you're up high on the wall in case you. By poke you, I mean throw his entire body behind a massive punch. Movellandrone with yet another death. Storm Eagle here. Given them quite a bit of trouble. Been a while since Movellandrone has raced. Did 2 matches pretty early on in the tournament. It's maybe not doing so well on the memorization aspect of speedrunning. Ooh, fire pillar, fire turret. Knocking them off. Kick off the side of the platform. Nice save. Moving on to the next section. Madu into Armadillo stage. Movellandrone's going to be able to get into the boss fight here in just a moment. Madu's riding on carts. Moving really well here. Has the boomerang out. Grabs that heart tank. The spoilers, Movellandrone, please. The God Eagle RNG. Look at him just standing there taking all these hits. Easy peasy. Both players. Pretty much perfect Eagle fights. Can't say the same for Penguin. And we'll see what happens with Armadillo. Goes into the roll. Very short roll. This is a nice Armadillo for Madu. I think the shots were a little mistimed there. Not quite keeping Armadillo in those iframes. But we're talking very, very minor time loss here. Movellandrone is doing Mammoth 5th, I think. Biggest Mammoth you can see coming here after you get the Storm Eagle weapon, which is his weakness. Are we going to see the heart tank grab? It's a nice safety item, but it's a little tricky. Just throwing out a whole bunch of them. One of them's going to grab it, right? There it is. Got it. Just barely. Madu moving on to launch Octopus. Lost dash speed for a little bit there. Got the invincibility of the Sea Sting earlier than normal. And is using it to just run around inside the thing's hitbox. Just styling on it. Out of Sea Sting. One single rolling shield to finish that off. This Movellandrone heading into the Flame Mammoth fight. The Storm Eagle to take down the sub. We're dropping down. Madu showing off the 100% stuff. Flame Mammoth fight at the end there, but Movellandrone gets it. And I missed what Madu picked up here in Octopus's stage. Down there in that optional area. I think it's a heart tank. And is now going to launch Octopus's battle chambers. See what kind of pattern we get. And I think that was... I hope that was not an emulator reset. I hope that password is filled in. It is. But Movellandrone is back to Storm Eagle. The SRAM didn't save after Mammoth. No, it has Mammoth, is just in Storm Eagle's stage and is going to leave now. Okay. Selecting Spark Mandrill stage correctly now, as Madu is done with Launch Octopus. Pep talk from 0 before we head into Sigma 1. Extra life drop from Movellandrone. Might come in handy. Saw a leap of faith from Madu, no problem, last time in Game 1. Movellandrone playing this section cautiously than Madu. Madu's not going for leap of faith this time. Was not quite fast enough. Knew it wasn't going to work. Recognizing that and adjusting accordingly is very smart. Was maybe a little unsure if that enemy was going to do too much damage, but Madu is down to this desirable health range, playing it safe, taking out those walker enemies. Don't touch the floor and get to the door to skip the cutscene. And so much more. Not a whole lot more, really. It's just the cutscene. Just don't soft lock. 0. Breaking out. And the heroic sacrifice. His death means you didn't soft lock. So we're happy. And no, he absolutely cannot do the dinosaur. Doing the dinosaur and executing on the cutscene skip are mutually exclusive. Vile fight here with the ice sled. Having some trouble. Not the ideal weapon for this situation. Vile's a very mobile enemy. The ice sled, I mean, despite enabling a mobility option for X, is itself a rather static weapon. It does make it work. Movellandrone's going for the fast stuff. Hitting the Spark Mandrill as soon as possible rather than locking them down with the freeze. Timing's a little off, though. So it's just going crazy with the ice all over the place. Left wall, right wall. It's all good. Spark Mandrill's down. Had a couple punches there. I believe that skip works on the English version. The US version, yeah. Madu, I think, is trying to set up the Kwanger skip. No, was just having some trouble getting the Sea Sting charged up. Someone has put out a bounty for someone to execute on the Kwanger skip in a race. I think it was Drago. And I think if you pull it off in a tournament match, it's $5. And if you pull it off in the semifinals, I think he said 25, maybe 40. We've seen some players go for it. I'm not sure exactly how it works or what it looks like, because no one's pulled it off yet. And my experience is limited to what I've seen in these tournament matches, for the most part. So, but I know you need a drop from an enemy, and I know it involves using the boomerang weapon and a phantom grab, which is what created that platform that Madu used. Stage. Really weird glitch. Into the bow spider fight now for Madu. Is gonna have enough ice sled, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. Maybe not. Even if you're not the greatest at reading bow spider's patterns, well, look at that tricky zigzag. Dashing puts your hitbox quite a bit lower. You can get under bow spider even when it is quite low to the ground with a dash. So even if you can't read the pattern in time, just kind of waiting and dashing away from it or under it is a good thing to have in your kit. Did barely have enough ice to finish off bow spider. Madu clearly knows more about weapon management than I do. Movellandrone into the armadillo fight. Had a fairly solid stage. Had pretty good luck from the rolls. Isn't opting to do what some players do, where they fire both shots in case the first one is too early. Madu dropping down, showing off a hard tank. And is leaving. I don't think Madu... We'll see if Madu's going for full 100% strats. But this is a little bit of how it works. I don't think there's a way to collect everything in the game the first time around. I don't think there's a pattern you can... There's always something in a stage you don't have what you need to get, and you need to revisit it later on. So we're seeing some revisits now for Madu. I don't think this is the correct 100% route, pretty sure. Pretty sure Madu's making this up on the fly. But I made sure that Madu knows that fastest tournament time is important for seeding. Flame Web. He just wanted hearts. Madu just looking for a little love, you know? And aren't we all, really? Anyway, Madu's ready for Sigma 2. Showing off that nice and tall health bar. Another slide there from Penguin. This Movellandrone didn't quite get this long snake enemy down. Getting off because of the lag. Despite having to backtrack, I think that might have actually been faster. Chill Penguin down from Madu now. But yeah, getting back to earlier, Madu does know the fastest tournament time will affect seeding, so Madu is happy enough with the tournament so far to spend this time going around collecting some hearts. And honestly, in this situation, when you're this far ahead, it's kind of smart in a way. You lose the time, you guaranteed lose the time to go get the hearts, but you drastically increase the chances that you survive against Sigma. And it's really only a Sigma meltdown that is gonna actually cause you to lose this race. So there's even strategic merit to it. I'm pretty sure Madu's just styling. But it's, there might be some method to the madness, is what I'm saying. Movellandrone is now also done with the 8 Mavs. And no, he didn't get the armor. He got all the hearts. He got lots of other things. He didn't get the armor. I don't think he got the helmet. Has 1 E-Tank, I think. I'm really not the right person to ask, though. Into the ring to bang to fight. Both eyes still up. Red eye, not too... Green's what you don't want to see. Oh, gets both eyes down. Just 2 shots to finish off the nose. Having a bit of trouble landing that last shot. Is going to have to wait a little bit. Gets it. The Movellandrone on the platforms. Turtle, please. I think it's a turtle. Turtle copter. It's back. It respawned. It's done. Wall jumps up the cliff. Moving on. And health doesn't matter. We want to take damage anyway. Oh, you need the helmet to get Buster? I thought you just needed the... Is that what you get in Storm Eagle? I thought that's what you get in Dillo. Like I said, really not the right person to ask. Madu spawning Armadillo again. He looks normal for now, but get him out of the place where he's supposed to be. He glitches out. Bye, Dillo. Have fun in your new tortured existence. Cutscene skip for Movellandrone. Getting the glitched pallet. No soft lock, it looks like. I think I'm thinking of X2. The level with the crystals that kind of fall down, and you follow one down, and then you go over a chasm to the left, and I think that's where you get the helmet upgrade in that game. And I thought that was in Armadillo stage in this game. That's anyway, it doesn't matter. Chat keeping us honest. He said, referring to himself by us. Punch there, not gonna land. Madu finishing him off with the ice sled in the air. And Movellandrone is done with Vile. into the octopus fight. We had a Mega Man X relay just the other day, but I don't think it was 100%. But the VODs for that are up if you want to check it out. Madu's Launch Octopus having a bit of trouble landing the final hit. Movellandrone playing the Kwanger fight very safe, up on the walls. Madu moving on out of the water. Flame Mammoth refight up next. Chameleon Sting invincibility, dashing through all these enemies. Going with the nose cut again is Madu. I guess disables the honk or whatever. You need a nose to do that. Down to one hit here on Bow Spider is Movellandrone. Isn't charging up the ice to do the sled. For the sled, you need to be right next to Bow Spider. So you need to be very adept at reading Bow Spider's patterns and adjusting accordingly. It is quite a bit safer to not charge it up so that you can shoot Bow Spider from far away. Going into the menu here, nice timing on doing so, because you get a chance to confirm where Bow Spider is going. So if you're going to open that menu, might as well do it at that time. Madu cleaned up the D-Rex fight with no problems, and is now heading into the Sigma fight. Movellandrone got some health drops, or no, that was the E-Tank. But can take a hit now. One more hit, has to deal with the babies. Jumping, hit from the baby means you don't take damage from the body of the spider, which does quite a dashing just under. Close call there, Movellandrone finishing off Bow Spider. We're seeing some comments from chat. Unclear on the meaning for now. So let's focus on Madu's Sigma fight. Into the Jedi phase here. The Velgarder fight went okay. Did Sigma just deflect that shot? Is that a thing he does? It's a little hard to see where these shots are being placed when Madu straight drops frames, but you can listen to the audio and hear those hits, and you can see that Madu landed quite a few, missed a couple. But has a lot of health for this final phase. No armor, so it's still going to be taking a truckload of damage from a lot of these attacks, particularly that lightning. And you still need to hit him 16 times. Right Claw comes over to say hello. No follow-up. Again, Madu that time does take a hit. Still has a lot of health thanks to all those extra hearts. Not afraid to pop the E-Tank. Ooh, more lightning. This lightning can come out as often as it wants. No regard to cycles or what should be possible to dodge or anything. It's horrible, but Madu is done. He doesn't have to deal with it anymore. Final SRL time of 39:17 for Madu, with an experimental route, showing off a couple of things you don't typically see in any percent. Got the helm, got the buster, got all the hearts. And stayed alive in that Sigma fight. Game 2 goes Madu's way. Madu takes the match 2-0. The dream upset is dead. On the calendar, there's nothing after this X match on Speed Gaming 3. So we'll hang out and see if Movellandrone is able to finish. Man, you thought it was bad when Octopus gives you the laundry cycle? How about when your mom does? Wow. That's minutes time loss. Having to do the laundry. That's a shame. That's not how you want to go out on your final tournament match. The play has been solid. The controller was in Movellandrone's hands, the right controller. A good controller. I don't even want to call it a Wiimote. A controller. Controller in name only. But if hanging out here is not your speed, we got the daily A Link to the Past match that may or may not have wrapped up already on Speed Gaming 2. Do a quick check-in. Looks like a couple people still going. It was a standard all dungeons run. If you want to cheer for Wolfman 2000 or IB Karma, you can go check in on that. On Speed Gaming 4, the A Link to the Past secondary tournament. So many people entered the tournament that we had a whole secondary tournament, and the best of the best in that one have emerged. And the semifinals for that tournament are competing now. I think game 1 is probably over by now, but you can go over to twitch.tv/speedgaming4 to check that out. And on twitch.tv/speedgaming, our main channel, Pokemon Crystal Cinco Bingo is underway. The bingo goals are very unique. Can turn out to be pretty interesting, and that tournament's very far along as well, so it's very competitive at this point. You might need someone to catch you up a little bit on what's happened in that match so far. But you could definitely hop in 30 minutes, though. Shout out the Chrono Trigger Top 3 Showcase Race. Drunken Draconian, Red Slash, and Kehanort is going to be just showing off the I think it's the No Lavos shell skip run, but it's just a showcase of the game and the top 3, and it'll be a nice cool race. They're going to have their in-game text boxes match their name profiles on the layout, which I think is cute. And Chrono Trigger is one of my favorite games ever. So that's coming up at 5 p.m. in just 30 minutes on twitch.tv/speedgaming2. If you want more Mega Man X, stay tuned, because Movellandrone's about to pick up that controller and finish out this run. You can also come back at 7 p.m. in 2.5 hours for another match between 8-Bit is Great and Hazy Perspective. And now that I read those names out, I'm worried that that match got moved, but I don't think so. I think that's still good. Movellandrone on Sigma 2. is going to be moving on. Let's finish this thing out. No one told me what Storm Eagle's weapon is. So it's going to stay Storm Eagle's weapon in my lexicon, but it was put to good use there by Movellandrone. Fire Wave is what you want for the Penguin fight. Back-to-back slides, Penguin please. It was looking like a good fight, but now we've had 4 slides. 5. 5 is a little more than average, I think. Madu's entering a password, possibly from memory. Possibly using one of those sites that will automatically generate a password for you. The Movellandrone is in the mech. So we see Madu's got 4 Robot Masters dead and is going to Eagle 5th. Storm Tornado. And now I know. Thanks. So I don't know what Madu's got in store here. I don't know if this is like a 100% route. But Madu was 2 for 2 on this Phantom Grab, on this Heart Tank to create this platform and ride it. It's looking to go 3 and 3 as Movellandrone is into the Storm Eagle refight. Getting some dives. That's 3 already. So 4 and 5. Is he going to knock it off? 6. Please stop. 7. Please stop. 8. Please. There it is. 8 might be the max. So that was less than fantastic. Madu showing off the platform stuff yet again. Didn't get a chance to finish Storm Eagle while on top of the platform. A couple people have managed to pull that off. Madu wants another try. The Movellandrone charging up that buster for the invincibility on the Rang to Bang to fight. The eye cycled slow. Did the left one even open? What was that? Exactly what you want to see from Rang to Bang to. One more shot. Lands it. Solid fight. Some players can get caught running around, dodging for a long time. Oh, I think Madu's going for the double KO. Yep. Riding the ice sled off the edge. It's respawning him where? Here. I thought it was going to put him in the sky. Is this after Eagle's dead? Oh no. What was that? Is everything okay? I don't think the game was ready for him to die in that situation. No armadillo skip for Movellandrone. Gonna have to play this one out. Use up some of our precious shock energy. We'll probably want to refill that at some point. Wants the health. The bats say it comes at a cost of even more health. Didn't lose as much as you get. So it comes out of the exchange ahead, heading into the chameleon fight. Got our boomerangs out. One does get hit by a spike there, but now we're into the cycle from which Sting Chameleon doesn't do a good job of escaping. A little too early on that one. But gets him down. Charged Sea Sting at the end to get through those enemies. Moving on to Spark Mandrill. We got the ice out. Getting the punch. Not able to get off the wall before it happened. Does fall down and take a hit. Takes another hit. Armor doing work here. 3 hits from this Mandrill fight. But Movellandrone comes out on top. Has access to refills coming up. Was going to charge up the Sea Sting, it looked like, and said no. That's not what you need in this situation to deal with these fish. We want the Storm Tornado. Up top, getting the refill. Killing the fish so we don't get caught. Movellandrone now into Launch Octopus. This is a really hard fight to do damageless. You end up trading hits a lot with Octopus. So if you're trying to keep your health up, it can be very hard. Movellandrone is doing those trades and has a very, very fast fight. Can't ask for much more than that. After all the laundry already done, we didn't get any more from Octopus. Sea Sting to go up top on the spikes and get the refill. As Madu picks up the armor. It's pretty costly to get it in an any percent race, but it adds so much safety, effectively doubling your health bar. So it's a big gain for a big cost. Mammoth backing up Movellandrone right into the corner, but the lingering tornado is going to finish it off. Madu showing off some extra birds. Movellandrone's into the D-Rex fight. Gets chomped. Down to 2. Almost gets crushed twice. 3 times. The chomp. The downwards diagonal chomp. Teeth rake across Movellandrone's back. That's a death, but not a game over. How are we looking on boomerang ammo? Not great. We might have to buster this fight. A tricky fight gets trickier with the buster. Movellandrone. Wow, the boomerang goes all the way around that hitbox. Are you serious? Gets tagged by the teeth. We're out of boomerangs. This light is pretty tricky to dash under, but at least puts stationary. Stops moving around. It's a maneuver you can practice, dashing under those electric balls. And you can land some good hits as well. But Movellandrone missing it twice now, has to do it, does get that one. 2 health, can't get hit by anything. Oh, crushed against the wall by the body of D-Rex. Picked up a couple of 1-ups. So it is not a game over. No boomerangs this time. Has to buster the whole fight. And this is what I was talking about when I was saying this is a a volatile category for this game. Some mistakes can compound and lead to really hard situations like this. A death to D-Rex meant you had less ammo, which makes the next fight harder. Can lead to another death, now with no ammo. The Movellandrone trying to make it happen. Going off the wall, does dash under. The timing is looking good. Top and bottom half are pretty desynced. Ooh, almost getting crushed. One more dash shot. Trading hits with 2 health left. Movellandrone pulls off fight. Madu's trying to show off elevator skip, I believe. Really getting hit and keeping those invincibility frames so you can race up the elevator shaft with wall jumps on the spikes. Haven't seen anyone go for it in the tournament. The Movellandrone charging up the rolling shield. The charged form doesn't roll at all. Just sticks in front of you and does a good job of dealing with these enemies that spawn out of this pipe. And we're getting our refills. We're filling up our sub-tanks, we're filling up on spark and ice and rolling shield and everything we need. Checking the menu. Looks good. I think we're ready. Wants a little something more. And here we go. Ascending into the final fight. Felgarder. What kind of patterns are we going to get? How about nothing? The dog is just walking back and forth, which is actually kind of hard to deal with. Taking 1 hit, but otherwise a pretty good Felgarder fight, a very defensive Felgarder fight. Onto the Jedi phase. Gets tagged. Having a bit of trouble getting away from the wall to place these sparks in the right place. If you're too far against the wall, the sparks are kind of inside the wall and they don't get out far enough to hit Sigma. In addition to that, you have to time it right. Oh, but a beautiful finish to the fight. We're pretty low on health. Even with the armor, the lightning might be a kill. Maybe? I don't think so. We'll see how far Movellandrone pushes it with the E-Tank, the sub-tank. Claw's gonna let her up. Off the Claw. Claw comes down. Movellandrone jumps directly into Wolf Sigma's head. That is a death. The entire fight needs to be redone. That means we need to refill on barriers a little bit, but mostly spark. That health too is important. Didn't use the sub-tank in that fight. How we looking? Bit short on ice. But you don't need too much ice to deal with Felgarder. Madu's finished. The Movellandrone got delayed quite a due to some unorthodox outside interference. And we're just hanging out cheering on Movellandrone, who's going to finish out this run. Final run of the tournament. Couple of hits from Velgarder. But a quick fight. Had to trade some hits to do it, but a pretty good fight. Sigma just got back from watching the new Star Wars. He picked up a prop in the gift shop on the way out, and he wants to show it off, but he doesn't really know how to use it. That's why you don't really see him attack at all. He just kind of bounces back and forth, which is impressive in its own way, but I don't know if he earns the term Jedi. Movellandrone dashing into the middle of the room and taking a hit. Low on life, but Jedi Sigma is down. I'll be surprised if we don't see the immediate consumption of the sub-tank. Didn't hit the button. Yeah, drinks it down, the good stuff. Had an opening there to get up at the lightning. Scared Movellandrone off a little bit. Lightning gonna knock them off. A lot of lightning from that left claw. Right claw comes, gives a bit of, but also gets a hit in. Oh, this right claw is so active. Nice job dealing with it. Claw, please. On the way back. Does tag Movellandrone. A missed shot. You have to wait to fire your next shot while it rolls around the bottom of the screen. Didn't like that lightning. Oh, the fake out. Oh, the claw. My goodness. Wolf Sigma came to play. Are you serious with that claw? Did the lightning, stopped, opened up again like it was going to throw another, and then just came down. Crushed under his paw. That was a really mean set of patterns coming from Wolf Sigma. Showing just how scary this final fight can be. We've seen extremely good players take deaths in that fight. Movellandrone deciding this is enough to try again. Movellandrone's not really catching up. That's not the word I would use. Finishing out is what I would say. Taking some hits in the Velgarder fight. Somewhat of an endurance match here with all three phases of the fight. Armor, and you've got the sub-tank. And yeah, literally, as in real life washer-dryer stuff, was what Movellandrone got pulled away for. I think Madu had just finished at that point, so the race was over. But Movellandrone's not going to let that stop them from finishing out this race. Did not collect enough spark to finish off Jedi phase here. It's going to go with some Buster strats. It's getting down maybe too early here. One more shot. Nice improvisation there in that fight. We'll see if we've got enough rolling shield. It's full. Health is not, though. Always a concern. Fire and claws combining for a rough start. Oh yeah, I thought we were going to see that sub-tank. The claw coming in for the pickup, but then the lightning against the wall. It is a lot harder to dodge the lightning when the claw is against the wall. That is your safe spot when the lightning comes crashing. You really don't want to have to jump off the claw if you can help it. But there it is, lightning against the wall. So hard to deal with. Wow, last second dodging the projectiles and getting between the wall and the claw. Wolf Sigma is making Movellandrone earn this kill. Oh, has to abandon. The lightning from below. Oh, man. The lightning against the wall chased Movellandrone off the claw. Couldn't afford to stay up there. Had to drop down. And then the lightning immediately afterwards caught Movellandrone flat-footed. We're gonna have to run this one back. Still charging up on the wall here. We're good to go. We're off. And like I said, some of the patterns that come out, I don't even want to call them patterns because there is no pattern. It's really just random. What Wolf Sigma decides to do. What the claws decide to do. And some of the combinations are just... I mean, some of them are literally impossible to dodge. Many of them are very hard to dodge. Movellandrone had one really nice escape. In that last fight. Only took two hits in the Velgarder fight, and has plenty of spark this time for the Jedi phase. More hit, gets it on the wall. Once more into the breach, Wolf Sigma. We're looking really good on health. We've still got a whole sub-tank. Claw immediately opening up with lightning. Lifted up into the corner. Pretty hard to deal with, but landing some hits here. This is good. This is good. Right claw. Not only gets the hit, but knocks off. Shield a little too low. Not up just yet. Thought it was going to be necessary. Now it's necessary. See, once you're down there, if that projectile attack comes out, it's going to hit you. It's all about what you did with the invincibility frames afterwards. We're back off the claw. No more sub-tank, but only one more hit, and that's it. The last second lightning hit is not going to be enough to take out Movellandrone with a final SRL time of 109.01. Not the time Movellandrone wanted to go out of the tournament with. But that boss is dead. That game is beat. So we got the GGs coming out in chat for Movellandrone. Opening the menu one last time. So that's going to do it for us here. Because we got some stuff starting up. Look out for the Chrono Trigger race starting soon on Speed Game 2. A last minute Rabby Ribby double anti-bingo match scheduled for 6 p.m. in 1 hour. And yeah, look out for Movellandrone on the mic. Fine. This has been Movellandrone versus Madu. Madu's a 2-0 win. Is looking pretty good in the group stage. 2-0 right now. We'll see if they can finish out on top with a possible upset over Tiki. Gonna be a big ask. Stay tuned to the MMX tournament to find out, and I hope to see you then. Cheers, folks.